Hello BuzzFamily and welcome to BuzzBarca. Today we'll be talking about Lamine Yamal and his domination at the Euros, along with some other players that have been performing really well for Barcelona at the Euros. We'll be talking about Ronaldinho and his comments ahead of Brazil's games at Copa America, and then we'll be talking finally about the transfer rumors and Hansi Flick. All that and much more. BuzzBarca. Firstly, let's talk about Lamine Yamal and Spain's 3-0 victory over Croatia. It was a true domination shown by Spain as they dominated the midfield, defended really well, and had a lot of attacking opportunities. Pedri was all over the midfield, playing in a more advanced role, which seems to be really good for him. Lamine Yamal showed his excellence once again, playing on the right wing, hugging the touchline, and just dribbling everywhere, making the correct passes. His IQ is off the charts, and he assisted in that final goal at the end of the second half, where he assisted on Dani Carvajal's tap-in. It was a great performance by Barcelona's players, and also we got to see a little bit of Nico Williams on the left flank. He didn't have the greatest game, but he had a really effective game of showing very good pace on the left wing. Thiago Messi actually came out and said that he wants to play with Lamine Yamal in the future at Barcelona. And it's funny to think that because of how young he is, but the difference between Lamine Yamal and Thiago Messi is 5 years, and that is the same amount of difference between Lamine and Nico Williams, who are doing it for Spain. That just shows you how young Lamine is and how big of an impact he has on the sport, especially being the youngest player to start in a game in the Euros. Moving on, let's talk about Ronaldinho's comments ahead of Copa America for Brazil. He said recently that, "I'm not going to watch a single game. I'm going to abandon Brazil. Things aren't going well. The team lacks grit, commitment, everything." It is pretty strange hearing something like that from such a player for his own national team. And Rafinha actually came out and said that he doesn't know why he would say such a thing, and that Ronaldinho actually recently asked Vinicius Jr. for tickets to Brazil's next game. So it is kind of weird why he would say that. However, Ronaldinho has came back and said that he actually said those comments to get a reaction. So I'm not really sure why he would do such a thing, but he certainly got one from everyone. Finally, let's talk about some Barcelona transfer rumors. It's been reported that Sevilla have big interest in Marc Guiu, especially with Lewandowski and Vitor Roque planning to stay at Barcelona under Hansi Flick. It seems like Guiu might be the odd man out, even though Hansi Flick would recommend that he would be there for preseason just to have a good look at him. Sevilla have shown big interest. João Cancelo being a right back or a left back for this Barcelona team might be in jeopardy, as Man City are looking for 30 million for a permanent transfer, or they want a loan to buy it as well. A team like Barcelona would not want to go that route, I believe, and I don't think they have 30 million for someone who can't really defend at that fullback spots, especially with what Hansi Flick wants in his team. So getting Cancelo might be out of Barcelona's hand, but let's see what Man City decide to do, because I believe they don't want him either. It's been also reported that Oriol Romeu may actually stay at Barcelona, as Hansi Flick might want to take a look at him and how he fits in his team. Romeu has not gone to Hansi Flick and said that he wants to leave the club, so as of now everything is neutral. Porto seems like a team that always wants players from Barcelona, and there's 2 players that are linked to the club right now. Mikel Faye is linked to the club as they would want him for around 15 million. And Barcelona would probably want a buyback clause in that deal. There seems to be actually a good chance that Faye might leave Barcelona, as he might not get the playing time he wants and he could generate funds for Barcelona. So if a good offer comes through, I don't think Barcelona will hesitate to accept an offer, especially with a buyback clause. Porto also are looking at Vitor Roque under a microscope in case Barcelona cannot register him. In that case, he would have to leave on loan so he could be registered for football. There are also many other Barca athletic players that Hansi Flick is looking for bringing into preseason and making decisions after, but for now, since they are in the playoffs, he is letting them play out and then he will see after. A player like Noah Darvic is actually linked to be there for preseason, as Hansi Flick wants a number 10 in his team, and that is something that Noah Darvic plays. So having him during preseason might actually be worth it for Hansi Flick, because this was not the case under Xavi. Finally, another player that is confirmed for preseason is Marc Bernal, the 17-year-old CDM. It is looking like he will be there for preseason and he might get an opportunity to impress Hansi Flick. That is going to do it for today's video about Lamine Yamal's domination in the Spain team, Ronaldinho's comments, and other transfer news at Barcelona. Drop a like and subscribe, it helps the channel out a ton, and see you next time. BuzzBarca.